it is actually hard to slow down. Hello and welcome to this week's Wild Spirits News. My name is Sibylla and today I'll tell you why it is so hard to slow down. I'm not the only person who likes to talk about slowing down. The internet seems to be in love with it. People post about how they dream about a simple life. They share nostalgic memes with pictures of cozy cottages or people taking walks by the beach. And at the same time, we constantly complain about how stressed and busy we are. Watch two friends meeting in the street and within 10 seconds they will talk about how much they have on their plates and how much they have to do. So we obviously hate being busy. So what is our problem? Your mission today is to learn why it is so hard to slow down and how to do it anyway. Task number 1 is why it's so hard to slow down. We tend to think of being stressed and busy as bad. It's what makes us tired, irritable, grumpy, lashing out at others. It's what keeps us from living the life that we want to, right? And that's why what I'm going to say next might come as a bit of a surprise. The reason why it's hard to slow down is that being busy is actually easier. This might sound completely ludicrous, but stress addiction is a thing. Stress has a very real effect on our bodies. Our heart rate accelerates, our bodies generally go into high alert mode. Adrenaline is poured into our system, and the adrenaline also keeps us wired and at high alert. And this is a good thing if you are in a situation of acute danger. This stress response has developed in the course of evolution in order to keep us safe, right? To keep us out of danger. And it's very good for these acute situations. It becomes a problem, however, when this stress, this high alert state becomes permanent or semi-permanent, as it is in our lives. Because it is actually really bad for our bodies to be constantly wired, to have constantly an accelerated heart rate or flat, shallow breathing. And the adrenaline wreaks havoc in our system. But it is also addictive. The phrase adrenaline junkie is actually accurate. We get addicted to the adrenaline high because a stressful situation can weirdly give you a bit of a high, especially if you overcome it successfully. And since our lives are full of things that cause adrenaline, we are completely addicted to it. And that is why it's so hard for us to slow down. Task number 2 is how to escape. So now that we've established that it's actually easier to stay busy than to slow down, we can work on how to get out of this vicious circle. No addiction was ever broken in one day, so it involves more than one step and a bit of patience, and this is no different. I've talked about stress addiction and how to overcome it in a previous episode, which I'll link in the description below, and there's a card up there as well. And that episode gave you several steps, several possibilities on how to tackle this. Very worth watching. Today, however, I would like to focus on one aspect, and that is the body. As I explained just now, stress manifests in the body in a very measurable physical reaction. And that's why it's also extremely efficient to tackle it on that same level, on the physical level. So the best way to get rid of stress addiction, to get rid of all this adrenaline and all these other harmful effects, is to do something with your body. Now, don't think you need to be perfect. You don't have to, obviously a walk in the forest is great. But if you can't make that, even walking up and down the stairs in your building, just moving your body will make a big difference. Of course, sports is great. But if you can't do that, the aforementioned walk is fine, or just dancing around the room like a headless chicken the way I do, you know this from my vlogs. Or just getting up regularly from your desk and pacing up and down in the room is extremely beneficial already. So do something with your body regularly, like every day. And don't think of it as exercise or sports. Of course, it's fine if you do yoga, but you can also do 5-minute yoga. There's even desk yoga where you can still sit in your chair. Anything you can do with your body will help you combat this and conquer this. And once you're past this adrenaline addiction, you actually are able to enjoy not being so busy. And that is when you can actually slow down and start simplifying your life. That brings me to task number 3, which is, as usual, let me know. Leave a comment below the video and tell me where you stand on this. Are you still a bit of an adrenaline junkie? Do you like being busy or keeping busy? Or are you, where do you stand on this? Would you like to try some of the things that I suggested here? You are free to disagree with me as long as you do it respectfully, and I'll reply to every comment, I promise. If you would like a little more, then I suggest you become part of the Wild Spirits community by going to wildspiritscoaching.com and filling in that little form there. You'll get 1 email per week, which is 100% spam free. You'll get a lot of additional articles and information. You'll get recommendations of books and other resources. And sometimes you get exclusive offers that are only for my subscribers that nobody else ever gets to see. So go to wildspiritscoaching.com and sign up, or you can Google Wild Spirits Coaching. That'll get you to the website as well. Thank you for watching.